Sony and Apple have long dueled it out for the title of best noise-canceling headphone. While the AirPods Max have been around since 2020, they have received numerous updates since then, including support for USB-C wired listening. On the other hand, the Sony WH-1000XM6 are the new challenger, an update to the popular XM5s. So, which headphone reigns supreme? Well, we put both through our SoundGuys testing lab to find out. With the design of the XM6, Sony has clearly listened to feedback from previous generations, addressing issues like flimsy hinges, foldability, and poor button placement. That said, just like the AirPods Max, there's still no IP water resistance rating. Still, when it comes to durability, the XM6 are the clear winner thanks to the charging case. The case for the XM6 will keep the headphones dry and scratch-free, whereas the AirPods Max case is simply awful. The smart case for the AirPods Max doesn't protect the headband at all, and the case functions as a power on-off button, which can get annoying fast. Both headphones are built to last, as you can easily replace the ear pads on both of them, thankfully. I find both the XM6 and AirPods Max comfortable to wear for hours on end. The AirPods Max are heftier at 385 grams, which causes some pressure points on the top of the head for some people here in our office. On the other hand, the XM6 headphones are lighter at 254 grams, but lighter doesn't necessarily mean more comfortable though, as the AirPods Max have much deeper ear cups. The XM6 have a protruding ANC mic that can touch your ear if the fit isn't right, which caused some comfort issues for a few of our team members in the office. If you have small ears, you'll probably be fine, but for a lot of people, it will be a dice roll on whether or not your ear anatomy works with these headphones. When it comes to features, the Sony headphones offer more customization, whereas the AirPods offer a more seamless experience. To control the XM6, you'll need to download the Sony Sound Connect app, available on both iOS and Android. Within the app, you'll find a 10-band equalizer, EQ presets, advanced Bluetooth settings, speak-to-chat, head gestures, and spatial audio via the 360 Reality audio platform. Additionally, you can now also upmix audio through the app to emulate what it may sound like with Sony's proprietary spatial audio solution. When it comes to customization and flexibility, the XM6 take the win. On the other hand though, as we all know by now, the AirPods Max have features exclusively for Apple devices. If you have an Android phone, you shouldn't even be considering buying these headphones. Once connected to an Apple device, you'll find a ton of great features, including spatial audio with dynamic head tracking, automatic switching between Apple devices, and adaptive EQ. A recent firmware update also means the AirPods Max now support lossless wired playback over USB-C. While the AirPods Max offer a more seamless experience, there is little flexibility, such as custom equalizer, so pick your poison. Both headphones offer a variety of connectivity options, though there are some key differences in both the wired and wireless offerings. The Sony XM6s offer wireless playback via Bluetooth 5.3, including support for LDAC, AAC, SPC, and LC3. They also support analog playback via the included 3.5mm cable, but there's no support for USB-C wired playback. We found Bluetooth multipoint works well, but you have to settle for a lower bitrate codec. Apple sticks with Bluetooth 5.0 and supports only AAC and SPC, with a heavy preference for AC. If you're deep in the Apple ecosystem, that's fine, but Android users miss out on high-quality codec options. Wired listening is supported over USB-C, but there's no traditional 3.5mm aux input. Sony touts AI-assisted beamforming with a 6-mic array on the XM6. In our testing, the microphones handled background noise well, even wind noise. Apple's AirPods Max microphones perform well, but only if the headphones are connected to an Apple device, which it relies on for processing. Make sure to head over to soundguys.com to hear all of our microphone samples. Now, to determine which of these headphones have the best performance, we can't just rely on my ears or the opinion of anyone else. Here at SoundGuys, we like to rely on objective testing data. One data point we can check out is which of these headphones block out more noise. Now, the ear cup design of the XM6 lends itself to excellent passive isolation. Our testing shows that even without ANC enabled, the XM6 passively block out up to 50 decibels of high-frequency noise. On the other hand, the AirPods Max can only block out up to 40 decibels of high-frequency noise. But the AirPods Max have a better active noise cancellation system. Our testing shows that the ANC can block out up to 40 decibels of low-frequency noise, such as the rumble of an airplane engine, whereas the XM6 can only reduce low frequencies by up to 35 decibels. In total, what this all means is the XM6 reduced the loudness of external noise by an average of 87%, whereas the AirPods Max have a slight edge, reducing the loudness of external noise by 88%. No matter which headphone you choose though, you'll have no trouble blocking out the vast majority of most external noise. Now, if you plan on taking your noise cancelling headphones on long trips, you'll want some good battery life. And there's a clear winner in that category. In our battery testing, the XM6s lasted 37 hours and 14 minutes. This far exceeds the 21 hours of battery life that we got out of the AirPods Max. Since the AirPods Max don't have a power off button and rely on the case for sleep mode, you also might find that the battery drains faster throughout the week. That said, both are clearly capable of lasting a full day of normal use. The XM6 charge up over USB-C, as well as the most recent version of the AirPods Max. When it comes to sound quality, our testing shows that most people will be happy with both the AirPods Max and the XM6. We used the multi-dimensional audio quality score algorithm to rate sound quality on a scale from 1 to 5. The XM6 attained an overall score of 4.8, whereas the AirPods Max attained up to a 4.5 depending on if the leakage compensation feature is enabled. These are both high scores that imply that the sound quality of these headphones matches up with most listener preferences. When we look at our frequency response measurements of both of these headphones, we see that the XM6 have slightly more bass and treble, but both headphones are closely aligned with our SoundGuys preference curve. Ultimately though, it all comes down to personal preference, as there's no glaring flaws in the sound quality of either. If you're a bass head though, you'll want to look at something else like the Sony Altware. If you like tweaking the sound of your headphones, you'll appreciate the custom equalizer in the Sony Sound Connect app. On the other hand, the AirPods Max with adaptive EQ provide a default sound that most won't have major gripes with. Both offer spatial audio features as well, if that's something that interests you. The Sony XM6 have a starting price of $449, whereas the AirPods Max have a more expensive starting price of $549. That said, since the AirPods Max are a few years older, you are more likely to find them on sale for around a similar price to the XM6. If you don't mind having the Lightning port, you can also find some really good deals on the original version of the AirPods Max, possibly for even less than the XM6. At around the same price, this is a tough decision, but you honestly can't go wrong with either choice. Both are fantastic headphones, and the majority of people will be very happy no matter which they choose. As someone with an iPhone and Mac, I still give the slight edge to the AirPods Max thanks to its seamless integration into the Apple ecosystem, its best-in-class noise canceling, and support for wired USB-C audio. On the other hand, the Sony XM6 are a great choice for those with Android phones thanks to the plethora of features and customization options in the Sony Sound Connect app. If you aren't sold on either of these options though, you can also take a look at the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra headphones, which we talk about in this video right here. Check it out. All right, we did it.